Hey y'all, iRick Sky here. Now if you haven't watched my videos, I encourage you to subscribe, youtube.com/iRick Sky, and check them all out. But what I want to talk about within this video, and if you have been a subscriber for a while, you've probably noticed that I've used quite a bit of different cameras. And right now my thing is 4K Ultra HD because I'm trying to better future-proof my video content here on the iRick Sky's Adventure channel. And I've used a lot of 4K cameras so far. I mean, obviously, for someone that's in the somewhat entry level price bracket for 4K, right now the options are pretty much limited to 30 frames per second, which isn't an issue. I've been able to retime, speed up or slow down video that's been filmed in 4K 30 frames per second. Actually, the intro to this particular video was filmed in 4K 30 frames per second, and then it was sped up so that it would create the time lapse effect with the water. And I think it looks really good. But I've been around the board. I've messed with some more compact 4K cameras that don't have detachable lenses. I've messed with some that have the detachable lenses, and they're the more pro grade 4K cameras. Done the video cameras and the bridge camera like this one right here, and this is the one that I keep coming back to as being my favorite. And the reason is there's several advantages that this camera has for me. Now every videographer and photographer has their own unique set of needs and wants. And what's great about this camera for me is that even though it doesn't have a detachable lens, it has a very nice Carl Zeiss lens with really good zoom on it. So if I'm shooting still photos, I can capture really good still photos with this. If I want to film some video, unlike some of the smaller cameras that may be limited to 5 minutes or so 4K video filming duration limitation, this one is not. I think this one's limited, I think it's about 29 minutes, which is great because most everything that I film is going to be the only exception would be some time-lapse type clips, but most everything I film is right around 5 minutes, give or take a few minutes. So I've really enjoyed this camera, and I also enjoy how even though it has a fixed lens, can't take it on and off, I can use lens filters with it. So I've got a really high quality, I've got a UV filter on it right now, and I've also got a polarizer and a neutral density filter. Check the link within this video's description. You can find this camera, the various filters and accessories that I use. But I've really enjoyed that. And then also the flexibility of having an external microphone. The internal microphone on this is not bad. I mean, if you're just wanting something, you're out in the field and you want to do a quick video with audio, the internal audio is quite decent in my opinion. But it doesn't come close to externally recorded audio. And that's why I like that it has a hot shoe on the top. And the mic that I use, and you can find it within this video's description, it's a stereo mic that is powered by the shoe. So you don't have to deal with putting batteries in the microphone as well as the camera. The one thing that and even though this is my favorite 4K camera at this point in time, the one thing I wish it had, the LCD on the back, it'll go out, it'll go down. So if you're shooting over your head, you can see it. It'll go up, but it won't go forward. So if you're doing face-on video, you're not going to be able to see it with the built-in LCD display. But what's cool is that you can pair this wirelessly with a smartphone app, and you can in essence use your smartphone as a handheld LCD display of sorts. So I use that if I'm out in the field and I'm doing face-on video and I'm filming myself. I'll look at the smartphone app and I'll confirm whether or not I'm in the frame, and then I'll start filming. So that's really nice. What's really cool about this camera, and something that another reason it's currently my favorite 4K camera, is that when you look through the viewfinder on the back, it just gives you a very vivid, great color display. I mean, you can see a very accurate representation of what you may expect within that video when you return to the studio. Also, I like how the auto modes on this camera, There's some other cameras that I've used where the auto modes, and I've done manual, but my problem with manual not being as proficient as a lot of video professionals, when I do manual mode, it's either been really good, I mean super duper, looks like it may have been on a national television network type production quality, or it was just very poor quality. So it's either hit or miss. What I like about the auto mode of this camera is that I can get consistently excellent 4K video. And I don't have to wonder, hey, did I set things up right? And it came with a lens hood. I seldom use the lens hood. I like using it without, because this camera, when it gets light in there, it really performs well. And I mean, I have been around the block, and you can check out all my videos and see how many cameras I've used. So this one right here now is my official favorite, and you can check the link within this video's description to find where to order it and the various accessories online. And obviously I still use my camcorder, my 4K camcorder, but I try to keep that more for studio use, because I don't, in a perfect world, being on a limited budget like I am, filming these YouTube videos, I don't want to put all of my gear in jeopardy. So if, let's say, something happened and my gear sank to the bottom of the ocean or the lake, I would rather lose one camera than both of my 4K cameras. And obviously I've also got the GoPro Hero 4 Black, which is 4K. That's an action camera. That's a different caliber of camera than this and my camcorder. But it's just, and it feels good. I mean, this thing is, and I use I keep the plate on it, which is nice because I can just pop it on my tripod and keep it on there, and it doesn't really get in the way. But it also has, if you're using it for photo or film, it's got click on or click off. So see, there's no clicking noise, but if I turn click on, which I can do right there, you can feel and hear the clicks. So if you're using it for video, being able to de-click it for video is great, but then for still photos, being able to put the click on makes it really nice. And obviously, you do have HDMI out if you were going to maybe connect an external display, field monitor, that sort of thing. You've got that functionality. You do have headphone and then also microphone inputs on the side, which is great. A lot of cameras of this caliber, that's something that's often left out. And the batteries that it uses the just the standard MPFW50, which is a very common battery. The battery life, although decent, is not awesome, because if I do a continuous 29-minute 4K video clip, the battery often does not have much remaining after that video is filmed. I mean, I may get a few other short videos, maybe a few still photos, but it's, if you're shooting that extended duration video, expect to have some extra batteries with you. And with that being said, one of the advantages for me with this camera is being able to recharge by way of this USB. Is it a micro or a, I forget if it's called micro or mini USB, but it's a standard small USB type connector, and you can plug it in and you can charge the battery inside. And that's great for me, because if I'm away from a power outlet, what I can do is connect it to my USB solar panel. I've got a solar panel with USB ports, and I can recharge the camera battery off the grid. So that's a huge perk for me. I don't have to plug it into a wall to recharge it, and that's definitely a huge perk for me. But the interface is really good. It does not have a touch screen, and that's bothered a lot of people. For me, it doesn't bother me because it's something that I don't accidentally press, and that's of great value to me. Also, as I'd mentioned earlier, this display on the back, I wish that it flipped when it wasn't in use. I wish that it would turn over. But as is, it remains always exposed. So the first thing you're going to want to do if you decide to pick up this camera is pick up a quality screen protector for that. That's the first thing I installed before I even started using it. And again, you can find that as well as this camera and the other accessories. Check the link within this video's description. It's all there. So it's you know, it's a cool camera. Obviously, it uses SD card. I think you can use, what is it, the memory stick as well. But I mean, I use SD card. It is worth mentioning that you will need to use a high-speed SD card, because your standard SD card is not going to be fast enough for the 4K video. But check the link within this video's description, and you can find the one that I use with this. Never had any hiccups for both video and photo. Everything's worked flawlessly for me. So super duper camera. If you're like me and you're wanting to adopt 4K, not everyone wants to adopt 4K right now. There's a lot of people that think it's a technology that's going to fail. But my assumption, based upon what I've seen with the abundance of 4K Ultra HD TVs on the market and just the growing number of 4K cameras, that it seems that 4K Ultra HD is likely going to be the next step from Full HD, which is, when you think of HD TV today, Full HD 1920 by 1080. 4K Ultra HD, in my opinion, is likely the next logical upgrade from what we today know as HD TV. So for that reason, I'm trying to future-proof everything, and this camera enables me to do it. And again, there's a lot more expensive options out there if you want to spend a lot, if your budget allows, and you want to spend a lot more for 4K equipment. You definitely can. That's easy to do. But with that said, to get 4K and and have this caliber of video at what I feel is such an affordable price point is fantastic for me. So tell me what you think. Share this video with others. Be sure to subscribe. It's youtube.com/IRIXGuy. Thanks for watching, and y'all have a good day.